Have you ever noticed that you understand English quite well, but the moment you try to speak, your thoughts suddenly slow down, your sentences break apart, and your brain feels like it is running two different systems at the same time? If that happens to you, I want you to know something very important right from the beginning. This is completely normal, and it does not mean that you are bad at English. It simply means that your brain is still translating instead of thinking directly in English. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to think in English naturally, how to train your brain step by step, and how to make English feel less like a foreign language and more like a natural tool for communication. This is not about forcing yourself, memorizing rules, or becoming perfect. This is about building the right habits and giving your brain enough time and the right conditions to change. So let's start from the beginning. Why thinking in English feels so difficult? Most English learners believe that thinking in English should suddenly happen one day, almost like magic. They believe that once they reach a certain level of grammar or vocabulary, their brain will automatically switch to English. But that's not how the brain works. From the very first day you learned English, you were taught to connect English words and sentences to your first language. You learned English through translation, explanation, and comparison, so your brain developed a very strong habit. Whenever it hears English, it first searches for meaning in another language. This habit is not a problem, but it becomes a limitation when you want to speak fluently. Thinking in English does not mean removing this habit completely. It means slowly building a new habit that becomes stronger over time. An important realization: you already think in English sometimes. Here's something many learners do not realize. You already think in English in certain situations. When you say words like okay, sorry, no problem, or welcome, you are not translating them in your head anymore. You simply understand them and use them naturally. Why does this happen? Because your brain has seen these expressions many times in real situations. It has heard them, repeated them, and connected them directly to meaning without translation. So the goal is not to suddenly think in English all the time. The goal is to expand this natural process to more areas of your thinking. Step 1. Start with very simple and clear thoughts. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is trying to think in English using long, complex, and grammatically perfect sentences. That approach usually leads to frustration. Instead, you should start with thoughts that are simple, clear, and realistic. For example, at any moment during the day, you can think sentences like, I am sitting at my desk right now. I'm watching a video and listening carefully. I feel a bit tired, but I am still focused. This explanation makes sense to me. These sentences are not impressive, but they're powerful because they train your brain to connect English directly to reality. The goal here is not elegance. The goal is direct thinking. Step 2. Describe your surroundings and actions. Once simple thoughts feel comfortable, the next step is to describe what's happening around you and what you are doing. This step turns English into a practical, everyday tool. For example, during your day, you can think, the room is quiet and the light is comfortable. There are many people around me and it feels crowded. I need to finish this task before I leave. I should take a short break after this. By doing this, you are teaching your brain to associate English with your environment instead of with study materials. English stops being something you learn and starts becoming something you use. Step 3. Think in feelings, intentions, and reactions. Real thinking is not about grammar or vocabulary lists. Real thinking is about feelings, intentions, reactions, and decisions. So instead of thinking in abstract structures, focus on expressing how you feel and what you want. For example, I do not feel motivated today. I'm excited about this opportunity. This situation makes me uncomfortable. I'm not sure if this is the right decision. These types of sentences are extremely common in real conversations, and they help English feel emotional and human rather than mechanical. When English becomes emotional, it becomes easier to remember and easier to use. Step 4. Use repeated daily expressions. Every day, you experience similar situations, and similar situations need similar expressions. If you start thinking these expressions in English regularly, they become automatic. Examples include, I need to hurry. I will deal with this later. That sounds like a good idea. It does not really matter. I will think about it. These phrases appear naturally in conversations, and thinking them repeatedly builds speed and confidence. Speed is important because the faster you think, the less time your brain has to translate. Step 5. Allow imperfect English in your mind. Many learners block themselves because they want their English thoughts to be perfect. But thinking is private. No one's listening and no one is correcting you. So if your sentence is not perfect, that's completely fine. For example, you might think, I'm very tired today. That sentence is not perfect, but it communicates meaning. With more exposure and practice, your brain will naturally adjust it to I'm very tired. Fluency always comes before accuracy. Accuracy improves with time. Step 6. Create short inner conversations. Another powerful technique is having short conversations with yourself in English. You can ask and answer simple questions in your head, such as, what should I do next? Is this really necessary? Okay, let's focus and continue. This is not working. I need a different approach. These small inner dialogues increase your thinking speed and help your brain stay in English mode longer. Step 7. Practice thinking in English for a short time every day. Do not try to think in English all day. That usually leads to mental fatigue and frustration. Instead, set a small and realistic goal. 1 minute a day is enough at the beginning. During that 1 minute, you intentionally think in English about whatever is happening in that moment. Over time, 1 minute becomes 2 minutes. 2 minutes becomes 5 minutes. And eventually, thinking in English happens naturally without effort. A common misunderstanding is that thinking in English does not mean you never translate again. Translation disappears gradually as English becomes more familiar. So do not fight your brain. Train it patiently. The more you listen, read, and use simple English daily, the more natural thinking in English becomes. Thinking in English is not something you force yourself to do. It's something that happens naturally when English becomes part of your daily life. You understand English, you are already closer than you think. Stay patient, stay consistent, and trust the process. That's it for today's video. If this lesson helped you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.